Hi, Matt and Kira. Hope you're having a great day today. Kira's requested me to do a quick rundown of as to the Airbnb strategy and just simplest form. The basics of it is that you do not have to go to the expense of actually buying a place. You can test a particular market out by finding private landlords that are willing to negotiate with you. So you end up negotiating so that you're offering about $75 more per week, so it works in their favor, in exchange for one less inspections and also the ability to have different cars being able to come into the premises a lot more often. Okay, so for those reasons, you're going to negotiate to offer a little bit more than what the normal rental amount is, so that it works in their favor. They want to listen to you and negotiate these terms, and then you reduce your inspections to like once a year or once every couple of years. They don't really get that fussed as long as you're paying on time. They will be quite happy. It takes a bit of searching to find these people, but they are there, and it's like a 1 in 10 type shot to find them when you do find private landlords. Now, that being said, the rest of it is actually quite simple. All right. You can see here it's only about 2.5 grand to get several beds and mattresses. They don't have to be the highest quality as long as they're fresh. They're going to smell fresh. They're going to be new, and even like we have one of the king size beds at this at the $600 level kind of thing, and they are exactly the same as the other ones. They take about 5 years to wear out. And if you want to upgrade once your proof of concept is well on its way, you can feel free to do so. But for the purposes of testing a market out for the demand for Airbnb and service apartments, you're better off just knowing that you're buying something fresh, it's brand new, no one's ever used it, which is comforting and stuff in your mind and theirs when you start setting these things up. So 2.5 grand for the beds, a grand for a sofa bed, and TV for say like a grand, or you can get a couple for 500. Dining set 600. Again, these don't have to be fancy; they just have to be fresh, new, or in really great condition. You can get secondhand, and it'll be even cheaper again a lot of the time if it's in really great condition. All right. Then is the kitchen and linens and that sort of stuff. And in there, you'll need towels, you'll need face washes, you'll need sheets, and you'll need about 3 times the amount of towels, sheets, and linens than you think you need. Because that way, if you have bookings one after the other, you can keep up with the amount of washing. All right, and it's not going to cost you a fortune using the dryer all the time if you can keep up with it in a smoother fashion. So if you've got 4 beds, then you'll want to get 4 sets of linen per bed minimum, right, including pillowcases. Okay, and then 4 times the amount of towels that you think you need. And most of these will get stored either like in a place in a cupboard that you set up for yourself, but you'll have some on the premises as well, just in case. All right. So very basic, like for a basic, easy to set up type budget to aim for, you can aim for about 7 grand. If you want to do the extra additional income idea of making it pet friendly as well, which is a very rare thing that for most Airbnbs and service apartments to ever have, if you want to do that, you'll be opening yourself up to the market of people that have pets but really struggle to actually travel. All right. In which case, you spend an extra 2 grand, and you can put pet runs in and charge them an extra $50 to $100 a week or a day or whatever. We can sort that part out later. But the point is, you can charge extra, and you're going to get a lot more bookings if you have that capacity. And if you make it, there's a cleaning fee if they do not clean up their pet after their pets, those sorts of things. It can cover itself. Okay. So if you aim for about 7 to 10 grand, let's say, right, that you'll need to set one up, and that includes a little bit extra to pay for your bond, pay for the rent, that sort of thing. Then you'll find that that's more than enough to actually set one up, versus paying a few $100,000 for a house and having to save up 50 grand or what have you to get a house and that sort of stuff. It's 10 grand is really nothing compared to having to buy an actual house, and then you're really gambling everything on it because like it's just a higher margin of risk. Whereas this way you can spend 10 grand on a property that you lease and test the market in that area. All right. And if you're doing pet friendly, you're going to get the bookings. All right. You're going to get the bookings over everyone else that doesn't have pet friendly. All right. Which is why this strategy is going to be like so effective for you guys. All right. So in that regard, you want to aim to save $14,000 to $20,000 so that you have plenty of leeway. It's not going to affect your lifestyle whatsoever, and this will be like, so you get to about 14 grand and you start shopping around for the real estate not the real estate agent, for the private landlords, right? That's the point that you start looking around that, and by the time it gets closer to 20 grand, you should have all these things things are ordered and ready to go, kind of thing. And then you can start the setup process of the Airbnb side of things to make an official Airbnb service out there. Now, how that works is I try to help people understand that you're never going to get a full 100% occupancy, but you can get closer to the 100% occupancy if you want to make deals with mining companies and large infrastructure projects like the railroads and things like that, and airlines. Okay, if you want to make long-standing deals with airlines, railroads, and mining companies, then you can get your occupancy all the way up to 100%. But for the purpose of making this video quite simple and easy to digest for today, we're just going to go by 70% occupancy, which is $140 a night above the cost of rental. So if the rental cost per week is $400 per week, then that should be about $60 per night that you're paying to the landlord. If you budget that in, you add that to $140 per night, then that's a total of, you want to be charging people $200 a night minimum to make it so that you're getting 140 night clear for these numbers to work nicely. Okay. Now, if you've got that, then the rest is even easier again, right? That works out to around 50 grand a year total, like gross, right? But after expenses and 70% occupancy, that's about 35 grand a year, right? And that's about 35 grand a year at 70% occupancy, sorry. And that's on top of the rental costs, okay? So yeah, and then after that, 29,000 roughly after tax and other expenses. So your toilet paper, your soaps, coffee, and just a couple of other minor things like that, sugar, those sorts of things. They do add up and they come out of the expenses, but your taxes will still be quite low. Keeping in mind that for your first year of setting it up, all of this is also a tax deduction. Okay, so that will reduce that will add as a deductions here as well, minimize your deductions and everything else that we equal out. So after setting this up, it's basically just making it so that there's a couple of hours each week to do the cleaning for each apartment every time someone changes over, where you basically just blast through the door after they've gone, the sheets get stripped off the bed, chucked straight in the wash, and towels and stuff are all gathered up and set for the next load. And then vacuuming, mopping, wiping over kitchen surfaces and bathroom surfaces can all be done within those 2 hours quite easily, effectively. Kelly and I ran the service apartments here in Oyen for about 3.5 years. And per apartment, we spent about an hour and a half most of the time. But for the extra dirty ones and stuff, it was about 2.5, 3 hours. Okay. And because of the nature of service apartments and Airbnbs, most check-in, check-outs are between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And so a lot of the cleaning can be done within school hours. So if there's any single mums out there that are struggling to find work that fits in between their kids' schedules and everything, this is actually a really ideal type of work for them to help them out as well. So, and you can do them as part-time. Even if they're on Centrelink type services, they can earn up to $150 to $200, depending on what thing they're on, per week or fortnight before it starts affecting their payments. All right, and that's actually about to be increased very shortly. So if they increase that limit up to like 200 or 300, then you can do everything legitimately. And again, have more tax advantages and everything serve you guys. Now, I know there's a very brief rundown for today, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Many people overcomplicate these things. All right. And for ourselves, for Kelly and I, right, so Kelly and I have an 11 lot subdivision down in Stawell, 3 hours down the road from us. And we are doing the service department model ourselves with pet runs and everything included as that gets developed. At the moment, it's in the subdivision process. And yeah, and that's what we're doing, because there's a mine, there's a gold mine just 2 kilometers behind this particular site that is deep underground, and it's adjoined by a one of a kind physics lab that physicists all over the world have actually come to. So we're doing an 11 lot subdivision there in Stawell that is also going to be a service department. So we know these numbers quite well. It's just that this is a quick rundown. And I'm hoping that you'll have some extra questions that I can clarify. And please feel welcome to join Kirra as well in her sessions and in the group coaching. All right, because I love the fact that you guys have been together for like 15 years. Kelly and I have been together for 20 years this year in June. And it's really great to see that you guys are a couple that wants to grow together, and you're coming together in an idea that you both are enjoying the concept of. So anything I can do to help you guys achieve this, because it only takes 10 of these, and you'll replace any income of about 290 grand a year once you get familiar with the first one. Because once you get the first one, it's basically copy and repeat, copy and repeat, copy and repeat. You don't have to overcomplicate these types of things. And when you get to the stage, so Kelly and I are going to have several of these types of things set up around the country, so that whenever we want to have holidays later on, all we need to do is tell the person that's managing that particular site to set aside a week or two in our favorite allotment. So Kelly and I want to have this one here designed specifically for us, and the rest of it more standard taste, so to speak. And so when we want to stay in Stawell, we will stay in this allotment here as our chosen one, because they will set that time aside, right? So these are the types of cool things you can do once you get the first ones going. All right. And yeah, it only takes about between 5 and 10 grand. You can be thrifty with it. You can go a little bit over the top if you want, but I highly recommend just getting one started. Nothing has to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. It's all about making progress. Okay. Because if you think about it, if you've ever met someone who thinks of themselves as perfect, you know that person's got their head up their ass, and you wouldn't want to spend time with them anyway. So nothing is ever going to be about getting something perfect. It's all about creating progress. Okay? So I hope you find this informative, and I hope you'll join in one of the sessions in the next few weeks or something like that, and I can speak to you directly and answer any questions you may have about this particular type of strategy. Okay? Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.